All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to do some division of fractions, and I pulled out a model here because I want to show exactly how this works. So I'm starting out with 1 1/2. All right, so there's my 1 1/2. I'm going to write that down. 1 1/2. 1 1/2. And I'm going to divide my 1 1/2 by 5/8. Okay, so I'm asking myself the question, how many 5/8 will go into 1 1/2? So I've already made some groups of 5/8 here, so I'm going to make some groups of 5/8. There's one group of 5/8. Okay? Here's a second group of 5/8. So I have two groups of 5/8. Now I have some space left over, so I pulled out some 8s just to show you that two more 5/8 will fit into 1 1/2. So I have one group of 5/8 here, I have another group of 5/8 here, and then I have two left over. Okay, so we need to kind of put this in context here. How many groups of 5/8 do I have? I have two groups of 5/8. Do you see them? Let me write down here. I have two groups of 5/8. Now what's left over?
2/5.
All right, I have two left over, and I'm making groups of what? 5. So I'm making groups of 5, and I have two of the 5 left over. So my answer is going to be 2 wholes and 2/5 of another whole. Okay? Because 5 of them make up a whole. My new whole is 5. I'm not going to have 8s because I'm talking about groups of 5/8. This is a whole group. My new group is 5 pieces. Okay, so I have 2 of the pieces out of 5. So that's why it's turned into 2 and 2/5. And I want you to notice something. I believe we pointed it out one day last week. I divided by 5/8. My numerator, let me zoom in just a little bit. My numerator here is 5. What happens to that numerator? It became my new denominator because this is the group. It now has become my denominator here. Okay? So let's talk about what that is. Every division sentence has a related what?
Fraction.
Well, yeah, you've heard me say a fraction is a big division problem before, but a related what? Multiplication sentence. So this 1/2 divided by 5/8 is the same thing as 1 1/2 times, now here's where it gets a little tricky, okay? This division's turned into multiplication. We know that our denominator is going to be 5. So we can say that we are multiplying it by, anybody know what that term is? When we flip this fraction upside down? The reciprocal of the fraction, okay? So the reciprocal of 5/8 is 8/5. Now how does that work? Well, same thing as if I was taking 1 divided by 2. It's the same thing as 1 times 1/2. You're going to get the same answer. Both of which is what? 1/2. Okay? 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. 1 times, if I have 1 of 1/2, it's 1/2. You're going to get the same answer. So just like if I took this 2 and I turned it upside down, and it became the denominator, this is the reciprocal of 2. 8/5 is the reciprocal of 5/8. Okay? So let's multiply and see if we get it correct. What's 1 1/2 written as an improper fraction?
3 halves.
I have 3 halves, good. Times 8/5. Can we cross simplify it all?
Yes.
All right, cross simplify the 2 and the 8, and we end up with 12/5, which is equal to
2 and 2/5.
2 and 2/5. Did we get the same answer as our model?
Yes.
Same answer as our model. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you divide fractions using a related multiplication of the reciprocal problem.
Is this how
Woohoo!
it works?
You guys have your notes down?